just going to let you hear those bells if you can hear them. That's our bells chiming here at church this morning. Good morning. For those that I don't know, I'm Reverend Jennifer Finley, our Momentum and Discipleship Pastor here at First United Methodist Church in Kirksville. And this is our weekly time to simply pause together, to take a deep breath, and to wonder together about our faith, to wonder together about how and where God is meeting us. And if you happen to be joining on Wednesday morning, I know many of you may join later in the day or catch this later in the week, but if you are joining with me on this Wednesday morning here in Kirksville, it's rainy outside, and it is also Ash Wednesday. And as we gather for this holy day, I am grateful to be joining you this morning. This is our time that I have come to treasure for myself and for you and our community, to simply pause, to take a deep breath, to let our shoulders relax, to maybe still have some coffee or tea with us, and to ask, where is God meeting us? How and where are we seeing God active in the world? And as I answered that question for myself this week, I was thinking about an experience I had last night. Last night, I joined campus ministry colleagues, leaders from the Baptist Student Union and the Catholic Newman Center and the Campus Christian Fellowship, CCF, that's another campus ministry group at Truman. I joined the colleagues that lead those ministries in a panel discussion, a time to talk about our faith and the ways in which we live that out. And there were students who joined us for that conversation. It was an informal time of conversation. And I'll admit, it's a busy week, and I was not actually sure that I was going to enjoy that. I wasn't sure how God was going to move in the midst, and I was a little uncertain about how it was going to go. It's the kind of format where students could ask all kinds of questions, and sometimes stump the pastor doesn't go well. But what I found was a holy moment. And as I listened to what I shared in response to questions, and as I listened to my colleagues' responses, what I heard from all of us was this deeply held belief and desire to interact with God, and a deep held belief that God shows up to us, that God desires to be in relationship to us. And while we were all from different traditions and have differences of belief, what I heard in our stories and in questions about how we practice ministry with our students was this deeply held understanding that God interacts with us, God shows up in our lives, and this deeply held desire to interact with the mystery of God, to not have to fully understand intellectually all the ways in which God is present to us, but to do that, to allow ourselves, to put ourselves in the way of God's love and grace and be okay with the unexpected. And that was across the board from different traditions, and I heard that from students. And God met me in that moment. God met me in that moment as a reminder that God's presence is alive and active, and that God meets us where we are. And that made me think about this Ash Wednesday, this time where we come together in all kinds of ways, and we practice our faith every single Ash Wednesday. But some years Ash Wednesday falls in the deep depths of cold winter. Some years, Ash Wednesday falls a little closer to daffodils popping up and spring coming. And just like the weather outside, sometimes Ash Wednesday comes a time in our lives where things feel deeply frozen and we're not sure where God is showing up. And then there are other years where Ash Wednesday shows up at a time in our life where it feels like spring is coming, where God is present and active and we can sense that. And every year is a little bit different. And it's one of the reasons I treasure this practice of faith, of gathering of a community, that God meets us where we are, doesn't expect us to be any other place than where we are this year. We don't have to be where we were last year or the year before or the year before that. God's beautiful, mysterious grace meets us exactly where we are. And so today is an invitation to observe the beginning of Lent together, wherever you might be. And so today, if where you are is needing some time and sacred space to simply remember that you are God's, that you are marked by God, we have imposition of ashes here in this physical space from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. today, and we invite you. You are physically present in Kirksville, come join us. That's simply a quiet time. Pastor Scott and Lori and I will all be here, and that will be simply a time to be whatever it needs to be for you, to be marked by the ashes, but also to pray, to light a candle, to maybe dwell for a few minutes in a busy day. If where God is meeting you is in a full worship service, we invite you to join us tonight at 7 o'clock. For a 45-minute or so time of worship and singing and prayer and marking of ashes. It may be a year, however, where neither one of those feels like the right fit. And we trust and know that God will meet you wherever you are. We will also be streaming the service tonight, so wherever you might be, if being physically together with others isn't where God might be meeting you, that's okay. We want you to know that you can join us online. And it is also okay if none of those ways of God meeting you this year fits. We invite you to be in prayer and reflection, whatever ways feel right, because we trust, what I was reminded of last night is we trust in the mystery of God's presence that is moving in and around and through us in all kinds of ways. And so today is an invitation into whatever it is that you are sensing wherever God is showing up for you. We have used this blessing before, but I want to share it with you again today as we enter into this holy day. It's by Jane Richardson. It's called Blessing the Dust. All those days you felt like dust, like dirt, as if all you had to do was turn your face toward the wind and be scattered to the four corners, or swept away by the smallest breath as insubstantial. Do not know what the Holy One can do with dust. This is the day we freely say we are scorched. This is the hour we are marked by what has made it through the burning. This is the moment we ask for the blessing that lives within the ancient ashes, that makes its home inside the soil of the sacred earth. So let us be marked not for sorrow, and let us be marked not for shame. Let us be marked not for false humility or thinking we are less than we are, but for claiming what God can do within the dust, within the dirt, within the stuff of which the world is made, and the stars that blaze in our bones, and the galaxies that spiral inside the smudge we bear. I've encountered that poem many, many years, and every year I hear it differently. So friends, I hope and pray and know that God will meet you today, whatever today looks like for you. And if we see you in person, we will be excited. And if we see you online, we'll be excited. And if we are sharing Ash Wednesday together in other ways, we'll be excited for you as well and blessed by that presence. And if you are looking for someone to talk to be in community with, know that we are always available. Enter into this day in peace, my friends. Amen.